One, two, one, two. Mic check.
Well, what did you want?
I just want you to be happy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You are inside the lab. Soda Sound Lab. This is Black Dot Chronicles. Just doing a little microphone test. Double streaming. So I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube. Let me see something. So looks like I can only do chat on YouTube. My group is private on Facebook, so I do have a chat going in YouTube if you want to check that out. Anybody. But yeah, I would say Happy New Year's, bitches, but I don't know if that will be relevant for these times. So I just want to talk about this global reset. The fourth industrial revolution. What's up with all of that? Excuse me. How that affects me and you in the year 2K21. Does anybody know about the global reset? You heard about that? Fourth industrial revolution. All this has been spurred on by the COVID-19. This is the new boogeyman, the new Al-Qaeda, the new Taliban, COVID-19. So what a lot of people don't know is this has obviously been in the works long before January 2020, long before December, whenever the first case was spoken about or reported on in China. Even long before this event 201 that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation sponsored, along with elements of Department of Defense. They've been planning this for a long, long time, people. So if you don't know, now you know. I won't be long with this one, but I got a few pieces of documentation, video, and some legislation that's been passed in America I think people need to know about. It's affecting you. from, what's the date? First of Jan. So since yesterday, if you're in America. Now you have all of these non-governmental global bodies that are populated by non-elected officials, aristocrat types, who have been making rules and designing a new framework for the global population underneath our noses. But I guess if you've been paying attention to this stuff, then you know George Bush back in the 90s, Bush Sr., when he spoke about the New World Order, the dawn of a New World Order. That dawn is upon us, and it's right now, and they're doing everything they can with this pandemic to throw this in our face and shove it down our throat. The global reset, the fourth industrial revolution. So I'm going to play a couple of clips just to give you an idea of what's in store, and then I'll have some commentary on that as well. So for those of you who don't know, you are in tune with Black Dot Chronicles. I am your host, the Nine Cypher. And we're going to talk about this global reset. So there you go, with your World Economic Forum, one of these unelected aristocratic bodies that seem to be shaping our future as we speak. So this is their idea, this is their global reset, this is the basis of their global reset. They're essentially executing the biggest heist economically the world has ever seen. They're telling you you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. And these are not my words. You can go to their website. You can go to any of their pub, and they're speaking about this since, 2015, 14, 16. This is not just happening. So this is something that's been in the works. They're telling you you're going to eat less meat, you'll own no property, and you will live where we say you're going to live. You do what we say you're going to do. Otherwise, you can't be a part of this new world order. They're using the pandemic as an excuse. The problem, solution for that problem is to bring everybody into this digital age, do away with fiat currency, and everything that we do, everything that we think, everything that we are will be digitized and antiquated on the blockchain, which is digital assets, cryptocurrency. So this is what they have in store for the people. But again, we won't take my word for it. I will continue to document a couple more things as we move forward to show you exactly what's going to be happening. And something that actually, a mandate that just went into effect. This was a law that was passed in the House and the Senate a couple of months back, maybe September, October. But as I present these pieces of video to you along with some other documentation, it should come pretty clear what's about to come down the pike. So I'm just going to hang back and continue on with this, and then we'll get into it.
Now is the historical moment, the time, not only to fight the real virus, but to shape the system.
We have a unique but rapidly shrinking window of opportunity to learn lessons and reset ourselves on a more sustainable path. It is an opportunity we have never had before and may never have again. So we must use all the levers we have at our disposal, knowing that each and every one of us has a vital role to play.
Now is the time to think what history would say about this crisis. And now is the time for all of us to define our own role. What is it that would make it so that history would look at this crisis as the great opportunity for reset?
The Great Reset is a welcome recognition that this human tragedy must be a wake-up call. It is imperative that we reimagine, rebuild, redesign, reinvigorate, and rebalance our world. Rebalancing investment, harnessing science and technology, and advancing the transition to net zero emissions, all elements of the Great Reset, are fundamental to building the future we need.
The world's problems fit on three sides of a triangle. It's one versus many, man versus nature, and the unfortunate foundation is long-term versus short-term.
We had already income inequality that was fueling income, race, gender inequality. We have a climate emergency, which we can't walk away from. There's no doubt that the very survival of the human race requires us to act.
Any recovery stimulus should have green conditions attached to it. Energy prices should reflect real costs.
You need private sector capital, private sector ingenuity, private sector technology, and private sector capabilities to come.
Yeah, we heard enough. So what you basically heard was a few heads, talking heads of aristocratic outlets explaining to you the takeover. That's what it is. It's a takeover. When they talk about private sector this and private sector that in conjunction with government entities, that's fascism. They're openly telling you what they want to do. But I'm going to get one of their own to explain this to you in a few words. This is a speech given by this guy, Richard Warner. He's from the European Union, ECB, and all this stuff like that. So he's
unique in the world, and that's delivered high growth without the bubbles. So central bankers create cycles. How have the central bankers, this is my last slide because my 12 minutes is just up, have reacted to the truth coming out? They admit that they've been telling porkies, and now they propose to increase their power. So central bankers belatedly admit, oh, now that you've mentioned it, yes, banks create the money supply. So let's abolish that now. And also, by the way, let's abolish cash. So what should we do? Well, introduce digital cyber currency that central banks issue and control, and thereby gain total control over all economic transactions, decisions, and the whole lot you've just heard from the CEO of the GDI. So the greatest concentration of central banking power in history is really the bid they're aiming at. That's the central bank's goal. And of course, digital accounts of dissenters and regime critics could be switched off. It'd be very difficult to even purchase necessities. So this is an Orwellian dystopia of total control, the end of any freedoms. That's really what central banks are aiming at. Several central banks have, like the Bank of England, already prepared their microchip implant, RFID chip, to be implanted under your skin. And why is the sudden discussion about universal basic income from all the grassroots and inverted commas movements and billionaires? Oh, universal basic income is the bribe for you to accept the microchip. The overarching trend of the 20th century is concentration of power in the hands of the few. That's what we have to keep in mind. We have to work against this. We don't want to have these unaccountable central planners making decisions. We need decentralization, and the solution, therefore, is to maintain public money in the hands of local community banks, decentralize decision-making, give local people the power in the form of local public banks and local not-for-profit community banks. As I walked in, I was delighted to